In our Your Voice, Your Vote coverage, we have new development in the race for the White House. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris have agreed to take the stage for several debates.
According to CNN, the two have agreed to 3 debates in September, which will air on Fox News, NBC, and right here on ABC. However, many Americans still have questions ahead of this election, especially with so many recent twists and turns.
Yeah, political expert Dr. Josh Vandiver, a political science professor at UCCS, joins us in studio. Thanks so much for coming.
Of course, happy to be here.
Hopping right into the questions now. The VPs have been selected. How do you think the strategies for each campaign change, if at all, at this point?
It's really interesting, and in some ways, Harris's pick, Tim Walz, is a bit of a head scratcher because normally with VPs, you're looking for somebody that's balancing the ticket in some way, either ideologically or in terms of geographic location. So if the Harris campaign is thinking that Minnesota is in play and they need the governor of Minnesota to help them win that state, that's a big problem. But maybe they're not thinking that. They're thinking about other reasons that they chose Tim Walz, which we'll have to see play out over the period of time that we have ahead of us when we get to know him. It's not very much time, less than 90 days. But that was a bit of a head scratcher because ideologically he's also on the left, like Vice President Harris is. In terms of Trump's VP pick, J.D. Vance, that's also interesting. I mean, he's younger, 39 years old. He, in some ways, is very much aligned with Trump ideologically. He's the senator of Ohio, and most people think Trump will win Ohio. So that also doesn't add a state that the top of the ticket needs to win, nor does it seem to really add ideologically. So both candidates made an interesting choice in terms of choosing somebody that wasn't that different from them ideologically, and also doesn't bring them a state that they probably need to win.
Yeah.
Very true.
We've had some unusual things happen this election cycle. Some might say historic leading up to it. How does the assassination attempt against Donald Trump and then the recent dropout of President Biden affect the next couple of months?
It's huge, and I was teaching this summer first-year students, and every single week they came in, Dr. Vandiver, is this normal? No, it's not normal, but that's why it's exciting as a student of politics. So, of course, the attempted assassination of President Trump was not normal at all, and then having the other candidate, President Biden, leave the race so close to the election day, that's also very, very unusual. So that week was a week that is for the history books.
Let's focus on Colorado. And I don't know how much voter registration numbers are out just yet that might give us a hint as to where this election is going compared to 4 years ago. But in terms of the registry, the overall registry of voters in Colorado, it was red for a long time. It's been blue recently. Would you expect much of a change?
Right, I grew up in this state, and it was a red state when I was growing up. Now it's a fairly blue state. We've been trending the last few years to higher and higher numbers of unaffiliateds. So we're almost, and maybe we've now crossed, if we have the latest numbers, 50% unaffiliated, with the rest scattered between the Republicans and the Democrats, with the Democrats with a slight edge. So that means in some ways we're a very unusual state, and lots of unusual things can happen, including with all the third-party candidates that are in the race. People looking at the presidential ballot are not going to just see Trump and Harris. They're also going to see libertarian candidates, Cornel West, the former Princeton professor running for the Unity Party. They're going to have other options. And because we have so many unaffiliateds, that means they're not necessarily sold on the Democratic or Republican parties in the state. And maybe they'll make some unusual choices when it comes to the ballot box.
A lot of unrest for sure within the parties, both of them. All right.
Could affect a lot of down ballot races too, and some of the issues, of course. We will be talking with you about those in the future as well. Lots to be decided.
Totally.
Dr. Vandiver, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
For being here.
Yeah.